I love anime. This sentence still sounds really weird to me, because even 5 years ago I didn't think that I would say anything like that. My name is Pavel, and 3 years ago anime knocked into my life and decided to stay with me. And here I am, recording my own anime podcast. Because I love podcasts, and it just happened so that I also had fallen in love with anime. So, I started watching it when I was already over 30. I lived quietly, recorded reaction on YouTube, made game streams. But my viewers asked me to watch anime quite frequently and stubbornly. For a start, I agreed to play a couple of visual novels. Then they started to show me IMV, and I was impressed by the quality of modern anime visuals. And after that, I watched a couple of anime movies. And in the blink of an eye, I started my journey of becoming an otaku. Also, my friend offered me to watch JoJo, which affected me too, because everybody needs to watch JoJo at least to understand all memes and references. But long before that, I also watched some anime, but back then that sporadic viewing didn't catch me for some reason. And if we talk about my childhood, I really liked watching animation in general, but I didn't tell one style of animation from the other one. I watched American series and was a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, watched European animation from different time periods, Soviet cartoons and others. Also, I of course have a face of Pokemon, but it was a short but bright period of my life. And this time it's still in my mind, like a year of madness, when I would run after school to catch a new episode and buff everything with Pokemon on it, at least to the point a poor childhood allowed. Anyway, my love for animation has stayed with me since then, and I never considered animation as an entertainment only for kids, at least arising from the fact that my dad accidentally bought me a VHS cassette with Spawn animated series, which definitely wasn't child-friendly. But this childhood drama I will keep from my shrink. Beyond that, I didn't understand why I had to stop watching something that brings joy to me. Later, when I was older, in the 2000s, I came across such series as Death Note, Animatrix and Ilvin Lead. And for some reasons, I had misimpression that plenty of animes are utterly cruel and bloody. Beyond that, some particular images has imprinted in my memory forever. And the other extreme was the opinion that other titles are just non-stop talking and slow-motion development of events. But I think it's true when we talk about old-school titles. In 2010s I was really passionate about cinematography and watched some iconic animes, as they were a part of the world of cinema. Of course, there were some of Miyazaki's work, but I still haven't watched all his movies. Also, I watched Your Name, and I clearly understood that watching anime on the big screen was a great experience, especially when we talk about Makoto Shinkai's work. At the same period of time, Evangelion came to stay. Before that, I had heard information that Pacific Rim by Guillermo del Toro was inspired by Eva, and I really liked his movie. But after watching Evangelion, I understood that it was a very strange connection. I hardly remember my emotion from watching Eva, but I definitely was in awe of it. Because on the one hand, we had big fighting robots and monsters, and on the other hand, we had the psychological struggle of heroes in this anime. And after I finished watching, I tried to find the answer to remaining questions. In process, I understood that it was not about answers, rather about emotion which you got. So, that was my complicated path of becoming an otaku. And at this time I had watched probably more than 100 titles. By the way, I understand that is only the beginning of my journey in anime, and I want to continue it with you all. So don't be shy and tell me how anime has come to your life and what titles everybody should watch. Maybe I can find something for myself using your recommendation. But it's time to answer the question, what were the reasons for me, the old cinema admirer and gamer over 30, to fall in love with anime, and why I love anime right now? First of all, visuals. Anime looks awesome. This is my first impression. Bright colors, the most beautiful pictures and the great action. I have already seen the blooming of Sakura in anime a lot of times, but it still feels like a reverence because it's so beautiful. I'm always impressed by how some simple things can be different. Each katana fighting does not look the same. Each school romance is different in some ways. Each isekai. Okay, this genre is becoming harder and harder to distinguish one from another. And if we talk about old anime, you can find the same animation scenes over and over again. There were not so many elements on the screen either, but right now series have visuals worth putting on the big screen. Yes, for example, the Demon Slayer movie look more detailed than the same name TV series in general, but their levels of quality are really close. Or Violet Evergarden look fantastic as the TV series by itself. This is a purely cinematographic show, which has breathtaking visuals. I just can't but use a cliché, like every picture from this series you can put on your wall as a painting. That's why I can't stop admiring people who are creating the animation, because day and night long they are creating such a beauty, which gives joy to the people all around the world. And pitifully, their work doesn't pay off properly, as I know. So, if the quality of the series drops, some angry fans can say horrible things on social media or even start threatening the creators. But I think it's all about bad management and tight deadlines, and that's why I want to know more about the creation process of anime and the people behind it. But the strong side of animation is not about static picture, it's all about motion. And action in anime has always been great. When I say anime and close my eyes, my imagination is drawing fantastic camera spans from the Attack on Titan when the main characters are buzzing with the help of ODM in the city. Also, I see gigantic robots which are smashing everything on their way, elegant swings of katanas moving as quickly as a bullet. The scale of event in anime is just on a different level. When Gurren Lagann reached the climax of epic, blood was bubbling because you had magma flowing through your vein then. And even when all depends on one punch from the bald guy, incredible things will happen on the screen. Because animation gives freedom to creativity, and if animators have enough time, they may achieve magnificent results. Powerful spell, dashing gunfight or close combat, all this can be seen in animation with an incredible level of detail. That's why action is one of the most important parts of anime for me. After all, it is one more important thing that brings joy to the viewers, and this is also connected to visuals. Of course, I'm talking about characters design, because anime characters are beautiful and unique, and they have dropped many people in this rabbit hole. Yes, I think that we need more different types of characters in anime, and every person in anime doesn't need to look like a model. But as a regular man and viewer, I enjoyed watching handsome characters. That's why I have the Mimakura with Tsunade from Naruto. So, I'm already in this rabbit hole. And even though I'm not a big admirer on fanservice, at least with young characters, this is also a reason why people love anime. Some part of this love built on anime boobies. At least, I admit it to myself. But in general, this is a hard topic and maybe we discuss it later. Now let's talk about creativity. Anime and manga are rich in conceptions and worlds which you have never come upon before. Where else can you see a project about gigantic naked people who look very funny at first sight? But later you will understand how creepy they are and you don't want to meet them at all. In anime you can discover uncharted and controversial worlds like Made in Abyss, when everything is cute at the beginning. But after this we found out many horrible things about this world. Also, in anime, young men can manipulate death itself. People with deaths will play rock, paper, scissors with their fate as a stake. And children will fabricate multi-level schemes for surviving and not becoming dinner for monsters. Although we have plenty of isekai, school romances and shonen in every season, we always get something new and unusual as well. Animation as well as manga give the opportunity to create stuff without strong connection to the rules of the real world. Modern cinema lately, for example, has been trying to be grave and realistic, but it still makes stories to entertain viewers. Anime, for the most part, doesn't care about this stuff. Everything will be done to surprise the audience and for the purpose of entertainment without restrictions of our reality. Pirates, ninjas, swordsmen have superpowers there. Every hero has organs of steel and a triple blood backup. And in every hopeless situation, there will be an elegant way out when music from the opening starts to play. That's why regular genres acquire new layers. In Bocce the Rock we will see multiply Bocce's reaction through animation that show us her range of emotion so lovely and creatively. Or for example, Shokugeki no Soma shows us food in such a way that I can't even imagine. So I continue to be amazed by the creativity of animation because it is so expressive and so beautiful, even more than my lovely cinema and TV series. Music. Close your eyes one more time and allow your brain to play your favorite opening song. Everybody has different melody in mind because the number of great opening songs is innumerable. Usually I prefer to hear good old song that I already know, but anime always bring me amazing new tracks which you want to sing along with, which you want to dance to, or get covered with goosebumps. The level of musicians is higher than I can even imagine. If you watch the show from the YouTube called First Take, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm really jealous of people who can listen to this music live. But at least I have recently been to the concert with music from the anime and Japanese games. So this sounds amazing and give me so many strong emotions. It was only about the openings that meet you at the beginning of the series, but music itself sometimes stays with you for years. Epic music from Attack on Titan, piercing tracks from Made in Abyss, a lamp of emotion when you're Lion April music, and much, much more. Playful jazz, light tapping of keyboards, powerful rock, or heartbreaking violin sounds. All this can await you there in surprising combinations. So after you finish watching, you will return to the music over and over again, because through music you can experience strong emotion one more time. Even when I talk about it, I really want to play this or that track from the parade which is passing now through my memory and perhaps your too. So the music is one of the things that can elevate the manga adaptation above the original source, because as well as animation itself, it infuses life into previously static images. Although a good manga is good by itself. And let's talk about stories. And even though there are enough repetitive things in the anime such as school harem or the formation of another hero, but even they reveal themselves in different ways in perspective. For example, when I started watching Naruto, it was extremely difficult for me, because I saw a very childish tone of narration with some good dramatic events. But the first impression was that I looking at the series for a very young audience. But I didn't stop and continued to watch, and was rewarded by the development of the characters, the story, the world. The series began to grow in each way. And as time went on, everything became more serious, darker and more tragic. And therefore, it is a pity that some anime are limited to one small season, without revealing the full potential of the original source, acting only as a prologue and advertising manga or anime. But even so, the stories in the anime are quite diverse, and many heroes, who at first caused only irritation, go through a series of challenges to their personality and develop themselves. And anime often doesn't try to be easy on them, starting with a basic set about deceased parents, ending with all kinds of tragedies, betrayals and moments of breakdown. And you start to really empathize with the heroes, root for them, sometimes doubt their actions. Therefore, anime often give me food for thought and raise difficult topics, being the media that some still consider as a child cartoons. Yet not everything rests on the desire to become a Hokage or a pirate king. Someone is just trying to find their place in a cruel world, someone is following their dream, and someone needs to get along with their difficult past. And you will not always have a clear division into the good and the evil. There will be a merciless grayness. Going the same way with the heroes to the end will sometimes be emotionally difficult, but you will remember every moment spent with them. You will be smiling, crying, falling into despair, but also finding light. Anime is diverse, like any other kind of art, and the stories that are told here are also many-sided. Yes, of course not everything in general, but there is always something amazing that makes you admire, discuss, and share with others. And last thing, emotions. Once I shunned anime mainly because of the unusual and sometimes hyper-emotional manner of Japanese actors' performance. I'm used to something quieter, but now, having got used to it, I feel what emotion anime can give. Just as much as the actors invest, you are also often involved in what is happening. Therefore, anime is largely associated with powerful emotional moments. I have rewatched the Attack on Titan several times and watched a large number of reactions to individual episodes. And so many times I was at the peak of my emotions, which speaks to the power of the work and my involvement in viewing. It also happened with Naruto, who brought me into tears in some episodes. I thought I would never have thought of such thing when I first sat down to watch it. And even One Piece achieved a similar goal, which I also hadn't expected. What can we say about Violet Evergarden or Your Lie in April, which seems to be designed to reach your weak points? You can probably name a completely different anime that drew not only tears, but also hysterical laughter or an incredible level of emotion, or would try to break you with the hardest events on the screen. And now, as I'm writing these lines, powerful episodes are flashing through my memory again, and I want to review them or the entire series in order to relive those events and get those emotions. To some extent, that's why I started this podcast, because I want to discover something new with you, as well as talk and maybe delve into something that I've already seen. So thank you for listening, and I hope that together we'll continue this journey in the world of anime. And once again, I will try to confirm that the phrase "I love anime" is not idle boast.